We'll start the journey in just a moment. Are you aware of what company are waiting for the show to watch it? I'm playing a video for valuable information, a limited traditional contest, and a special no bet here. We'll start here in just a couple more minutes. Hello, everybody. Paul Gatter here from PowWows.com. Keep posting the comments. I'd love to hear where you're watching. We've got Texas, Washington State, Santa Maria, California. Great to have everybody here. Got an interview with the Ledger Artist tonight. I think you're going to enjoy that and some announcements about a special contest and other great things going on to tell you about in just a few more seconds.
How about a round of applause one more time, and thank you, Battle.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Gatter here from PowWows.com. Thank you for tuning in to another night of our Powwow Chat Live, Powwow Nation Live. Thank you all for being here. This is my chance every week to get to talk to you, the community of PowWows.com. So thank you for being here. I'd love to hear from you. Keep posting the comments where you're watching from. It's great to see all over the country, north and around the world. We're getting visitors, so that's really cool. So tonight I've got an interview with Avis Charley, who is a ledger artist. She does some amazing stuff and has been an artist in residence at several different places. So she's going to tell us about her art and how she got inspired and how she got started, and tell you about where she is right now. Also, we've got some special announcements before we get to that. So if you aren't aware, let's get right to the big thing we are doing this month. This is Native American Heritage Month, and we are working with 8th Generation to put on a contest in recognition of Native American Heritage Month. We are giving away 12 blankets from 8th Generation. They are Native owned, Native operated, and Native designed company producing some amazing blankets. They just made another announcement. Some of their products are now going to be featured in Starbucks. It's a really cool company producing some amazing stuff. And so we're giving away 12 of those this month, as well as some of their other things. So here's the link, www.powwows.com/win. Stay tuned at the end of tonight's show. I'll give you a bonus code to get you extra entries into that contest. But first, they sent me two blankets to show you guys. 2 of the 10 or 12 we're going to be giving away. So, all right, here we go. Let's see. So here's the first one. I got my assistant down here on the floor. All right, so here's the box. I mean, look at this. This is awesome just from the start. Let me get it where Instagram can see it. Here's the box, and this is one of the blankets. This one looks like it's called Milo. inspired natives. This one is designed by Michelle Loudon, who is Pueblo, specializing in Pueblo jewelry. You can see here, here's some of the colors of the blanket. This thing is pretty awesome. I can tell you that the quality is top notch. These are nice blankets. They have done an amazing job producing these. All right, so that's one of the blankets you can win. There it is. All right. And here's number 2. Again, cool box with the design on there with the fox jumping. This one is called Confluence. It is designed by David Robert Boxley. He's from Alaska. All right. This one is, this one I remember seeing pictures of. So you can see a little bit of the design there. This is some of the Pacific Northwest tribal designs where, come on, camera focus. It's not going to do it. Okay, Instagram, you can see it. You can see some of the designs there. I know I can get this camera to focus. Maybe. There it is. Yeah. Okay, let me hold it up more. There. Yeah, so hopefully you can see that. Again, super quality blanket. Really soft. I love the edging is super soft. These are nice, top quality blankets. I'm excited to be able to work with 8th generation on this contest. So head on over to www.PowWows.com/win. Thanks, Brooke, for being my Vanna White in the back. She has no idea what that reference means, but thanks, Brooke. So we're going to run that contest all month long. You can enter daily for extra prizes, and you can cut out now if you want. Okay, she's going to stay for a while. Hey, from Australia, thank you. That's awesome. We got some people from down under watching. Really cool. All right, let me take a couple of comments, and I'll tell you more about the contest. Karen says she needs to go to her first powwow. Yes, so if you have not been to a powwow yet, please check out our information or some of our common questions for first-timers, www.PowWows.com/powwow101. That will get you started and really help you out with getting all the information you need. Gigi by the Sea is back again this week. Thanks for being here again. It's great to see you. Marie watching from Washington State. Hello, hello. Bernie, good to see you here. Let's see. Irene from Mexico. Hello, hello. We got somebody watching. Chrissy from Alaska. Awesome. And I see lots of comments here. People really enjoying the blankets. Yeah, so again, www.PowWows.com/win. And that will get you into the contest. And then don't forget, at the end, I will give you a bonus code that only you guys can get. And I'm posting those bonus codes. We're doing them here on the live show every Thursday night. I'm putting them in newsletters. They're on the podcast. They're all over the website. And once you join the contest, you'll get emails every day for the next, until through November. And those will give you links to go and try to find even more bonus codes. So there's lots of ways to enter to win. Lots of chances to get some extra entries there into it. Joseph from Idaho, hello, hello. Thanks for watching. We got Anne-Marie from Pennsylvania. So cool. All right, a couple more announcements before we get to the interview. Thanks again, Brooke.
Bye-bye.
She's heading out. So it is holiday shopping time. I know lots of you will probably start your shopping. And don't forget to shop early. Man, all these crazy shipping delays and the supply chain is all messed up. So shop early. But don't forget to please remember to shop native when you can. If you're shopping Amazon.com, please use our link, www.PowWows.com/Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but Amazon does give us a commission for if you use that link. So that's really appreciated. Really good way to help support PowWows.com. And also check out, we have a gift guide on the website with some of our favorite native gifts for the year. We also have our Shop Native directory of all kinds of native products and companies. So just remember to support our native people when you're shopping for gifts this year. It really does help them. There are some amazing creators out there, whether you find them on the web or there's some people on Etsy, all over the place doing some amazing creations. Like 8th generation, they're a pretty good sized business. They're not huge, but they're a bigger size company doing some amazing things, producing their own blankets, designing them. But we have other creators that are running small businesses, on Etsy, selling stickers or whatever. So just go and check those out. And that will really help support our folks there. Jim Two Hawks from Lexington, South Carolina. Hello, hello. Yes, I did get your email, Jim. Jim won the ribbon skirt that's sitting up there. I need to email that or mail that to him. he lives right down the street from me apparently, so I should be able to meet up with him at some point. But Jim, yeah, I'll get that in the mail to you real soon. Heading out of town for a conference this weekend, but I'll get it in the mail next week. Watching from the Northern Marina Islands. I don't know where that is. Let me know where that is from. Sorry. Oh, I have been congested all day. Thanks, guys. Veronica says, love 8th Generation. Yeah, their blankets are top notch. Love their stuff. Been a fan of theirs for a number of years. All right, so those are all the announcements for now. I want to go ahead and play the interview for you. Again, her name is Avis Charley. I got her link there to her website. She also has a Facebook that I put in the description. So go check that out. And I hope you enjoy this interview with this Ledger artist, Avis Charley. I'm so excited to have with me tonight Avis Charley, an artist, a mother, and just a really inspirational artist that has put some incredible art pieces out there that I want to talk about and dig into some of the meaning behind them. And she does ledger art, which I absolutely love. I'm obsessed with looking at, always scrolling through Instagram, looking at ledger art. And so when I saw hers recently and saw some of the things that she had going on, I knew I wanted to talk to her. So thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Hi, Paul. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So before we get too far into it, so tell me, where you're from and kind of how you got started in doing your art.
Okay. Han Madakia P. Hello, relatives. My name is Avis Charley, and I am of Spirit Lake, Dakota, and Diné, Navajo. And I was born and raised in LA. And so growing up, my first, I guess, art community was graffiti. I was part of a graffiti crew. And so that was like my first taste of expressing myself with, different mediums. And then later on in life, I became a ledger artist. And then I went back to school to the Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe. And then I transitioned from ledger art to figurative paintings, where with ledger art, I first started creating ledger art because my mom had passed away. And so I would draw images of mother and daughter, adult daughter and mother images. And it was, very healing for me. It was, it helped me process her death. And so as I, continued healing and evolving as an artist, then I started painting women. And I started thinking about, how can I contribute to the dialogue? And so, yes, I want to start representing modern women today. And so,
Awesome.
yeah, that's how I am. That's how I came to be to today.
That's really cool. And yeah, I want to talk about some of the meaning of your pieces. They are, you can see for just scrolling through your Instagram, there are definitely some, you're making some statements. So that's really cool. All right, for some of my viewers who aren't familiar with ledger art, can you tell me just, or to tell them where this came from and just a little history of ledger art if they've never seen it before?
Okay, ledger art, long time ago, our ancestors painted on animal hide, and they would share stories such as hunting scenes, courting scenes, and fighting scenes. But once they were put on reservations or imprisoned, they no longer had access to natural material. They couldn't go hunting anymore. So they improvised and used materials that were available to them at that time, which was discarded pages from accounting ledger books and colored pencils and crayons from the general store. And this period was around about 1860 to 1910. And so those are museums now across the country, and it was a male-dominated art form. So as a female ledger artist, I'm using the same materials, except I'm bringing a woman's perspective into this art form.
Cool. And yours, you're doing, I see, these are pencil art, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so ledger art's very stylized. It was before European contact, so there was like no influence of realism, perspective, color theory. It was more about telling the story.
Yeah.
So it's a very flat art form.
Yeah. Which I just find fascinating. I love the some of the powwow dance styles that you can see in there. Really cool stuff. So, you grew up in graffiti art. How did you make the transition from, or what did you take from graffiti that you were able to take into these different art forms?
I guess it was about like with graffiti, it was about belonging. It was about, because a lot of us were from single family homes. And so like our graffiti crews were like, essentially like our family. And so it felt good to belong and be part of a group, but at the same time also, expressing yourself. And so I remember when I first started spray painting on walls or using markers, I just remember this like force coming out of me. And then just playing with different styles and trying to get better and better and constantly practicing and practicing. It was just, like I said, it was like a force in me. And then, it was also about getting our names out there, getting up, so people could recognize us. And I guess, if you really think about it, it's about, presence. It's about establishing our presence as, marginalized people. And so same thing with Ledger Art, I'm taking this, these historical documents and, I'm like leaving my mark as a woman. So, there's some parallels there I could see.
Right. I just interviewed some folks from FNX, and they're working on a series featuring Native artists and kind of highlighting that. And we talked a lot about how art is so personal, and every piece is and every artist is different because you're putting your own personal spin on it. And you talked a little bit about your mother and the graffiti and what you're trying to do. So if you want to, I'm going to show some of these pieces. Do you mind if I show a couple of these and you kind of tell us some of these stories and your inspiration behind them?
Yeah, I'm going to go take the chicken out of
go ahead. That's cool.
It'll take me a second.
Sorry, everybody. I forgot this was in the middle of the episode. I forgot to edit this out. She just had to go and check on dinner for a second, so she'll be right back with us.
Okay, sorry about that.
No,
okay.
It's all good. So this one, the Remember Me This Way, and as well as your mother and daughter, I'm assuming these are the ones you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Remember Me This Way, that one, my mom left her reservation and she moved to LA in around 1970. And she met my dad out there, and he didn't speak English. He was Diné, he's Navajo, and so he stuttered, and she felt bad for him, and so she wanted to help him navigate around the city. And so that's how I came to be. So I like to joke around with people and say that was my creation story. But but over the years, she left him when I was 7 because of his drinking problem. And later on, she started drinking, and eventually she passed away from it. And so, but she was a loving person. She was very loving, very affectionate, and she, really showed me how to be compassionate. And she was a giving, caring person. And this piece right here, it's personal for me because the title says it all. Remember Me This Way, and that's how I choose to remember her.
I love that. Now this one, this blew me away. I love, and the name of it and the expression is awesome. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about this one.
When Prayers Hit. Yes. This was actually my first oil painting. When I was at Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe, I went, originally I went to school for business administration. I was in the casino business. And then when I did a 360 and, got my BFA, I was, as an older student, I was so hard on myself. I put so much pressure on myself. And I remember my last 2 semesters there, I just worked all the time. And so once I finished my senior project and wrote my thesis and got that out of the way, I just wanted to paint for fun and I was thinking about our humor. And so I started this painting in acrylic. And then, because at my school, you weren't allowed to paint with oil, they didn't have the ventilation for it. And so I started with acrylic. And then after I graduated, I moved back home to California. And then I pulled it out like a year later. And then I went over in oils. And I was just thinking about what this piece means to me, how it made me laugh. And I think about, as natives, our humor. And I was thinking about the titles and, and so then and then when Prayers Hit, it hit me. And I started thinking about how everything I had prayed for at that moment, everything was happening. And so then at Santa Fe India Market that year in 2019, I thought, well, let me just enter it just for exposure so I could let, my collectors know that, I'm also working on paintings, not just ledger art. And then here it won first place. And so that was a nice surprise.
That's awesome. Hey, yeah, that one really struck me. And this one, I just love the colors of this one.
Yes, this is actually my favorite painting, and
Ah,
it's big. This one's an oil, has a textured canvas, and so with this one, I started thinking about like, what are my passions? You know, what am I passionate about? You know, I love beadwork, I love jewelry, I love beadwork. A lot of my close friends are beaders, and then I also started thinking about my graffiti roots, and I started thinking about, well, how could I combine these two? And I was experimenting, and so then I thought, well, let me, take some beadwork designs and add some graffiti elements to them, such as, shadow and light. And I was like, let me try to make them pop out like 3D-ish. And so
mhm.
yeah, I had fun with this one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the realism in some of your photos is really awesome. I mean, this one, this is a scene we see all the time at a powwow.
Changing lanes. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is oil and textured canvas. So I took sand from Long Beach and white sand from New Mexico, and I applied it to a canvas with matte medium. Just to I guess I was trying to recreate that Southern California aesthetic with the stucco buildings, the kind I used to spray paint on when I was 13 years old. And so I did that with this canvas. And then this is my favorite jingle dress dancer, Mallory Oakes.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I told her about my ideas and she agreed. And so we met up, and yeah, so she was my model for a couple of my paintings, two of my paintings. And yeah, so this one's titled Changing Lanes, where a dancer's getting ready, for grand entry. But also, I started thinking about the beadwork and the leggings and how, it's lane stitching.
Right. Right. And so, you talked about you were just in residency, or are you still in your artist in residency?
Yes, I am doing back-to-back
Okay.
residencies. I did one in South Dakota last year, and then last month, and then this month I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico with IIA with the residency currently.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you made the switch from casino management and business management into art. This
Mhm.
has been such a hard time on Native artists. How has this experience these last couple of years been for you, is trying to establish yourself as an artist?
Um, well, once I graduated in 20, well, I was a ledger artist for the past, probably about the past 11 years. I've
Right.
been a ledger artist. And when I first started creating ledger art, there was about two or three other women doing it. And so it was very popular. When I would do art shows, I
Hmm.
would just sell out. And so I didn't really push myself as an artist or grow as an artist because, it was constantly selling. And so when I went back to school, I was ready, I was ready to push myself finally. And I was ready to, and I was also, I was doing ledger art part-time too. And then so when I went back to school, I was so focused. And of course I was older, so I was very serious.
Right.
And once I graduated, everything just started happening like full speed, like just opportunity after opportunity. And it was just a momentum that's still going now. And surprisingly, during last year, during 2020, during quarantine, I was busier than ever because I started working with a lot of nonprofit organizations, which was a surprise to me. I guess my work, it talks to them, it speaks for them. And so I had a lot of contracts, several contracts with different organizations talking about, well, it started with MMIW before COVID, and then it went on to, masking up, staying home, getting
Hmm.
vaccinated. And, those are causes that I really, and voting was a big
Right.
one too. And those are causes I believe in. And, so yeah. And yeah, so it's been going. So yeah, I just, doing the work, staying consistent. And so, yeah, so it's been great.
Awesome. And with the prevalence of the internet and the creator economy, and now they're calling this the great resignation, everybody's leaving their jobs. Lots of people are looking to find, um, whether it's if they're like you, been part-time artists, and maybe they're looking to do more of it, or they've always had a passion and they're looking to get in it. So for these people that are listening today and looking at you, what do you tell people that are looking to kind of pursue this as a career?
I would say make sure you have the right mindset. Like I said, I was like a half-ass artist for the past 10 years because I took it for granted. And
Yeah.
so, just growing and evolving as a person. When I went back the second time, I was, like I said, I was focused and I just had the right mindset. And I put myself out there and I utilized all the resources available to me that I provided. And yeah, so that would be my number one advice, is have the right mindset. But then also, it's about, what are your intentions? Like, why are you an artist? What do you, what's important to you? And that takes a while. That takes a while to find out as an artist. I would just say, just start creating work, whatever it is you like to do, start drawing, start painting, start, beading, just start. That's the number one advice I would give, is just start.
That's great advice. I tell people the same thing when they're asking me about, how to go live or how to do these internet videos, and just do it. Just start. They might not be good for a while, but it's okay.
And don't be afraid to fail. Like, don't, you have to embrace being embarrassed.
Right.
You have to embrace that, because, it's all about balance, because there's going to be good that comes from that. Like I cringe when I look at some of my early ledger art, or I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And, but look, I was, consistent and persistent, and I wasn't afraid to put myself out there and go to art shows and put up my work and share it. And see, 10 years ago, social media wasn't exactly what it is now. And so, but had it been, I mean, even I look at older posts, I was like, wow. But yeah, so yeah, just stay persistent and stay consistent.
Awesome. And so where in the next few months, or is there any place we can go and check you out? Are you going to be at any of the shows, powwows, or anything coming up?
What month are we in? We're in November. So
Yes.
this residency lasts through December. And I have a show in a few weeks here in Santa Fe with Swaya Winter Market. And then, yeah, then the next few months, in March, I'll be in Phoenix at the Heard Museum, their Indian market. They have every March, it's the first weekend of March. I'll be there. And then then I start like there's the Powwow Trail, but then for artists, there's Art Trail. So then I'll go from, the Heard Museum to Idlejourg. And then, yeah, then I have like smaller shows in between.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So, and we'll make sure I put links to your Instagram and your Facebook and your website. I know you got some things up for sale on your website, and definitely everybody go check out our Instagram and follow you there to see when even some new stuff comes out. Well, thank you for spending time with me. It's great hearing some of these stories behind the art, and I love following it. And I'm gonna have to pick up some of your ledger art eventually. I need some more stuff up here on the wall. So, but thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now you can hear me. Sorry about that, guys. So what I was saying is, thanks, Avis, for coming and doing that with that interview and sharing some of those stories. I think it's really fascinating to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff and where she, her thought process of going into some of those artwork. I loved her advice on being consistent and persistent, and I also thought it was really telling that she talks about. That she half-assed art for a long time, and that's a mindset shift that a lot of people have to make when you decide to take a hobby or something you love and turn it into a business. At some point you have to get serious about it. So if you are interested, I see some people, so I've got links on Facebook and YouTube. I put those in the description for the YouTube or the Instagram folks. Her website is avischarleyart.com. Or just Google her, Avis Charley Artwork, and you'll see some of her art there. She, again, here, I'll share my screen. Her artwork is unbelievable. And like, I wasn't kidding when I say I'm just fascinated. Ledger art to me is just one of those things that I just sit there and look at it. Look at this stuff. I love this art. It's so great. And the realism of this, it's beautiful, but how often do you see something like that at powwow? And she captured that beautifully. That's just some of her work there. So yeah, AvisCharleyArt.com, and she does have a Facebook profile and Instagram. So go check her out in all those different places. All right, let me switch you back Instagram. Okay, as promised, the contest. 8th generation giving away 12 blankets. I showed 2 of them earlier. You can enter the win at www.PowWows.com/win. And I'm giving out bonus codes, like I said, and I'm going to give you one here in just a second. Remember, you can find them every week here on these live shows, in our podcast, on the website, in our newsletters, in all those places. So there you go. Here's the bonus code for this week. It is 30042. 30042. And just take that, and there's a place on the entry form, www.PowWows.com/win. There it is. There is extra entries just for you folks listening tonight. And the ones that stay to listen to the whole interview, you guys get the extra bonus codes. So, all right, thanks for doing that. Let's see, a couple other interviews. Don't forget to please use our Instagram or our Amazon link when you're shopping for those holiday gifts, www.PowWows.com/Amazon, and use it all year. The link is good forever, www.PowWows.com/Amazon. It costs you nothing, but Amazon does give us a small commission off any purchases you make after you visit that link. That is really, really helpful. Also, I want to say a special thank you to our Patreons. Those are the folks that are making monthly contributions and really helping us move PowWows.com forward. So thank you for those guys doing that. You can join them if you want to help out over at PowWowNation.com. And what we are doing with our Patreon is we are trying to raise some funds to send our teams out to stream even more powwows in 2022. Powwows are going to be back fully next year. I've seen we're getting tons of flyers and lots of events listing on our calendar, and we want to send our teams out there and stream those events and bring you those stories. So if you can, go over to PowWowNation.com, consider becoming a member. It's as little as $2 a month, and it really goes a long way to help us reach those goals. All right, everybody, thanks again for watching. Wayne, I just saw your comment. I really appreciate that. And we do have 2 live streams coming up. We'll be streaming the Sisseton Veterans Powwow later in December, and the Durant Choctaw Casino Powwow coming up the weekend of December 4th and 5th. So just a few weeks away. We've got 2 great live streams coming up. Don't miss any of those. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Bally says, can you text me? So I don't have a texting service yet, but we're working on that. But you can email me at paul@powwows.com, or just subscribe to our newsletter, and that'll give you all the information. And you can do that. Just visit this page right here, and this will subscribe you to our newsletter, www.powwows.com/powwows-near-me. That will get you right on there. Have you missed the powwow? So we weren't streaming a powwow tonight. We're just streaming an interview with an artist. But we do have live stream powwows coming up just in a couple of weeks. So check those out soon. Gigi, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know I'm going to get some rest. Got to get this cold under control. I'm heading to a conference this weekend. Of course, in my favorite place in Orlando. So somebody on Instagram asked, when is the next powwow? So there are powwows happening every single weekend. There are lots of them happening. Just head over to www.powwows.com/calendar. We've got tons of them listed there. We list over 1,200 powwows a year. So that is where you can find them. Or, of course, just hit the www.powwows.com/powwows-near-me, and that will get you on there. All right, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go and take some medicine and hopefully get this congestion to go away. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again next week. Remember, we are live every Thursday night at 9 o'clock on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Hope to see you back next week. Gigi, I know I'll see you. And all the others, I hope to see you back again too. Have a safe weekend. Spend some time with the family, and I will see you soon. Good night, everybody.